Level 1. The Lost Civilian. You're 24, you've quit 3 jobs this year, and now you're guarding a lobby in Reston, Virginia. It pays $14 an hour. Your badge says Meridian Protective Solutions, which sounds impressive until you meet Meridian, a guy named Gary and a laminator. You sleep on your cousin's couch in Fairfax and basically live at the Sheets on Route 50. You have never belonged anywhere, not one room, not once, but in 20 years. Every new agent the FBI trains will be sent to you to learn how to spot a liar. You don't know that yet. It starts on your dead 3 a.m. shift when a contractor scans in on a cleared badge. Everything's in order except his ears don't match the photo on it. You notice ears, it's the thing that got you called a freak in school. And the man in front of you isn't who that badge was issued to. You flag it. It's real. An imposter on somebody else's clearance. The agent who runs it down doesn't introduce himself. Pressed suit 27, already golden. He takes your statement without looking up, writes his own name on your catch, and when you say you want to apply, he almost smiles. They don't hire the guy who watches the door, he says. They hire the guy who walks through it. He's wrong. That catches how a lobby guard ends up at Quantico, and how that same guard becomes the man who can't spot the liar asleep in his own bed. Level 2. The FBI trainee. You miss the target, not the center of the target. A man-shaped sheet of paper 25 yards away, and your rounds go into the dirt, the sky, the lane divider. The instructor doesn't yell. He writes something down, which is worse. You got here on a joke. You took the Phase 1 test the way you'd buy a Mega Millions ticket at the Wawa counter, and the joke passed, and now you're at the Academy in Quantico, Virginia 21 weeks. A word you've never applied to yourself. Recruit. A dorm room the size of your cousin's couch, but the door has your name on a slip of paper, and it's yours. And for the first time in your life, a schedule wants you in it. You show up early now, terrified someone will notice you belong here and take it back. You are catastrophically bad at almost all of it. Everybody here looks like they sell CrossFit memberships and wears the same New Balance 990s. Like the Bureau issued each of them a dad. The mile-and-a-half run. The push-ups. Stripping a Glock while a man counts out loud. Every trainee has the one station that visits them at night. Yours is the range. You fail the qualification twice, and the math follows you into your bunk. 2 more and you're back in Fairfax on the couch, back to being nobody in no room. By day 2, the class has your number. Somebody digs up that you were a rente cop before this, the guy who watches the door, and the name writes itself. Door guy. It crosses the whole class by lunch. It sticks the way true things stick. Then comes Hogan's Alley, a whole fake town the FBI built to run scenarios. Fake bank, fake bad guys, fake hostages who take it very seriously. Your scenario is a robbery, and when it goes loud you freeze the gun, feels like someone else's hand bolted to your arm. You are failing, except you're looking at a hostage, zip-tied on the floor, terrified like the rest. And his shoes are wrong. Everybody else is in scuffed sneakers, his are clean 511 tactical boots, fresh out the box. The shoes of a man who dressed to move. Him, you say. The hostage. He's not one. The exercise stops. He was a planted hostile. You're the only trainee in the class who called it. The only one. The man who runs the debrief isn't your firearms instructor. He's older, quieter, a counterintelligence hand who spent 30 years watching people lie. He pulls you aside. Anybody can learn to shoot, he says. Almost nobody can tell when a person is wearing themselves like a costume. That's a CI mind. Don't waste it chasing bank robbers. Guys like you, if you live long enough, end up back here teaching the rest of us how to see. He writes something in your file. You don't get to read it. You'll find out what it said years later in a cold car, hunting a man who never leaves his apartment. You pass the range on the 3rd try by 2 points. 2. You graduate 43rd out of 48. The naturals graduate at the top and shake your hand like men being gracious to the help. But the assignment sheet goes up, and your name lands on the same squad the quiet man named the Washington Field Office. The one the movies get wrong. You still can't hit a target that isn't standing perfectly still, and they're sending you to hunt spies. Level 3, the special agent. Hour 10 in a cold car. They upgraded you, it's a gray Crown Victoria now, which for surveillance is like being handed a sign that says, I am a COP, please act natural. The heaters off the plume gives you away at night, so you sit in your coat watching a window that hasn't moved in 300 minutes. This is the war. Nobody told you it was mostly this. You are the bottom of the counterintelligence squad at the Washington Field Office. Probationary. A 2-year clock over your head, and everyone above you has hunted Russians since before you could legally drink. You write the FD 302s, the reports that turn a whole night into one dry paragraph. You learn the coffee order and get it wrong twice. Dan takes his Dunkin' Black, Ray's only drinks Celsius, and you never, ever ask about the source whose name is blacked out in your own report because that name is classified above you. You are inside the secret and still locked out of it. You spell a man's cover name wrong in a document because you're not cleared to know his real one. The job is 95% boredom, and the boredom is the point. 11 hours photographing a guy who orders the same 3-piece from the Popeyes on Route 1 and never comes back outside. You keep a Gatorade bottle in the door you do not talk about. The veterans say the ones who quit, quit in the car. You don't quit. You've slept somewhere worse than this car. Your supervisor catches you white-knuckling it one night and points his coffee at the wall, where the photographs hang the office legends, the handful of names they still teach back at Quantico decades later. Every one of those guys started where you're sitting, he says. Cold car, hating it. You know who ends up on that wall? Not the shooters. The ones who never stop noticing. The ones they bring back to teach the rest. He holds your eyes a half-second too long. You notice him notice you. Then, on a dead Tuesday, on a nothing target, it happens. Your man leaves his building, walks 2 blocks, and for exactly 2 seconds on a crowded corner, his hand meets a jogger's hand, and something passes between them, and the jogger keeps going like the world didn't just tilt. A brush pass. Textbook. So fast the 3 trained agents on the net all blink through it. You don't blink. You never blink. You call it live on the radio address. Direction. A description of a man nobody else even registered. It breaks a case that had gone cold 8 months ago. For about a day, you are the freak who was right. It beats being wrong, but not by much. Then the catch does what catches do. It gets you off the bench. It gets you real operations. And real operations, at the WFO, means they finally give you a partner to run point with. The name comes down on the assignment sheet. Marcus. You don't know him yet. Older than you, none of the golden boy shine you were dreading. You brace for the worst anyway, another natural who'll make you the punchline of the car. You are wrong about him. More wrong than you've ever been about anything, and it'll take 400 hours in a van to find out. And neither of you know yet that the man across that console is going to become the only person who ever has your back, or that you're going to spend the worst night of your life certain he's the one who put the knife in it. Level 4. The field agent. Hour 380 in a van that smells like old Sheets coffee and 2 men who started the week as strangers. You've memorized the exact sound Marcus makes when he's pretending to be asleep. Off probation now. A real badge, a real caseload. And a first joint operation that is 400 hours of your life parked on a suspected illegal, a deep cover officer living as an ordinary American in Woodbridge. Mortgage, a Camry, a lawn he actually edges, a Costco membership, a rec league soccer team. The man is more American than you are. You watch him be no one until the day he slips and becomes someone. Nobody tells you a partnership is a marriage before the marriage. 400 hours is longer than a lot of marriages last as a feeling. You learn Marcus takes his coffee with 6 sugars from the gas station in a way that should be a federal crime. You learn he had a brother who died at 19, and that's the reason he carries a badge. You learn the specific silence he sinks into at 4 a.m. hour 380. Punchy and running on combos and warm Red Bull, he tests you. Pulls up a photo of 3 men. One of them's lying in this. Which? 4 seconds. The middle one. He rehearsed the shrug. Marcus doesn't laugh. That's the night he stops laughing at you. Then the op goes hot. The illegal makes the van clocks the same vehicle on the same street 1 time too many, and Marcus steps out to run the cover story you both built. And mid-sentence it dies in his mouth. The target's eyes go flat and start reading him like a receipt. Marcus is 30 seconds from blown. Maybe worse. You're out of the van before you decide to be. The target's hand is already drifting toward his waistband, slow, casual, the way a professional reaches for a weapon he hopes he won't need. You walk up loud, annoyed, a neighbor mid-argument about a trash can straight into the space between them. You improvise a lie so specific and so fast, a name, a dog, a parking spot, an HOA grievance 3 weeks old that his red snaps on the sheer boring texture of it. His hand comes off his belt. You haul Marcus away by the elbow, still complaining about the dog, your heartbeat loud enough the street should hear it. The best agent you'd ever met needed the door guy to walk him back through the door. That night he doesn't say thank you. He presses something into your hand instead. The squad's challenge coin, the one you never earned, the one he had 3 of and you had none. They can call you door guy all they want, he says. You're the guy I want on the door. It is the first thing anyone has ever handed you for being the exact thing that made you a freak. You put it in your pocket. You have no idea how heavy it gets. The illegal you nearly lost leads somewhere bigger, a network the Bureau thinks runs through a DC Cultural Institute. To get inside, you'll need to develop someone close to it. A translator who surfaced in the files as a witness, not a suspect. A witness. Her name is Anya. You pull her file yourself. You run her yourself. You are, everyone agrees, the best young mind on the squad. You clear her. You clear her. And you feel nothing but professional about it, and that is the last moment in your life the noticing will ever fail you and let you sleep easy. Level 5. The case agent. The earpiece is in, and Marcus is on the van a block away when she catches you counting the exits and smiles like she does it too. You're supposed to be running her. You already lost a step you won't feel for years. The assignment is clean on paper. Develop Anya, the Institute translator. You cleared yourself as a source. Get close. Build rapport. Turn her into a window on the network she works beside. You've done it before, and you walk in certain. She is not what a source is supposed to be. A source wants something you can see: money, revenge, a visa, a stroke to the ego. Anya wants nothing you can find. She drives a beige Subaru Outback. She shops at the Trader Joe's in Clarendon. She is so aggressively normal it should have been the tell. She reads the room the way you do, catches you cataloging exits and says, flat. The loneliest people are the ones who watch every room they walk into. And it lands because it's true, because it's been true your entire life. And no one has ever said it to your face. You file it as excellent rapport. You believe it. Here's the one thing you don't notice. In 2 hours of conversation, she never asks you a single question. She doesn't fish. She just waits, warm and patient, and lets you give. And you give small things, the shape of your days. Nothing classified, because that's what it feels like when someone finally listens. A source who only receives isn't a source. It's a collector. You don't see it. You're the best reader on the squad, and you don't see it. Then she hands you a gift. Accidentally, a name, a date, a thread that closes a case the squad had ground on for a year. Overnight, you're the agent who developed the asset nobody believed in. Your stock jumps. The relationship gets reauthorized. Everyone's thrilled. Everyone but Marcus. He's quiet the whole drive back to the WFO. Then flat eyes on the road. She's too clean like it's rehearsed. Run her again. And you feel it rise before you can stop it, not doubting her, resentment at him. Not because Marcus is wrong. Because he's threatening the first good thing you've ever had. And you're already halfway in love. And the last person you want to be right is the one telling you to look closer. You don't hear a partner doing the one thing a partner is for. You ran her clean yourself, he says. I know. Now run her like you want to be wrong. You wave it off. You run her again anyway to prove him wrong. And she comes back clean because the service that built her to survive exactly the check you're running. A legend stitched to pass any door you'd put in front of it. The cleanest thing you've ever seen. You take clean as an answer. Then you cross the line you spent weeks pretending wasn't there. You fall for her. Off the books. You don't report it. The man who belonged nowhere his whole life is, for the first time, in love with a woman who sees him. In a life finally starting to feel like a home you'd kill to keep. The paperwork says the source is closed. The truth is the source just recruited you, and the next thing she asks for won't feel like an ask at all. Level 6. The counterintelligence agent. You sign the marriage license at the Alexandria courthouse on a Thursday, and Marcus signs the witness line right under yours, and his jaw is tight the whole time. You tell yourself it's because he hates suits. You are wrong about that, the way you're about to be wrong about everything. The intel Anya fed you didn't just close a case. It opened a career. You get read all the way in, full counterintelligence agent now. The compartmented cases, the real spy hunting, the clearance most agents go a lifetime never touching. Your name on an office with a real door. And you do the thing an agent is never ever supposed to do with a former development. You marry her. Quiet ceremony. Your cousin doesn't come. No one from your side, really. Marcus stands up for you anyway, because that's who he is. A fact you'll understand far too late. For the first time in your life, you have all of it. A title. A squad that respects you. A brick townhouse in Del Rey with a garage. A Wegger grill. And a front door that is yours. The man who slept on a pull-out couch owns a door now, and someone is home behind it. You do a Costco run on Sundays like a person. You have never been this happy. At your promotion, the division chief shakes your hand. Give it 15 years, he says. And they'll have you back at Quantico teaching this. You've got the one thing we can't train into anyone. You smell a lie across a room. Everyone laughs. You laugh. Your wife laughs. Her hand light on your arm. You don't see her hold the laugh a half second too long. You never see anything about her. That is the whole tragedy, and you're standing inside it, grinning. A young agent brings you a source turning up gold too easily, and you hear your own mouth say it. It's too clean. Run it again. Marcus's exact words years ago. The kid decides you're jealous. Small the way you once waved off Marcus. You save his case. The source was dirty. You just gave the kid the gift Marcus tried to give you. It never once occurs to you to aim that sentence at your own house. The marriage teaches a different lesson. It runs on the edges of things. Anya asks gently, over years in the dark, the way a wife asks for the small stuff. Is that officer someone you trust? What's your week look like? Never the crown jewels. Never anything you'd flag. Just the edges. And you hand her the edges, because that's what a marriage is. Because a man who finally has a home does not run surveillance on the person inside it. One night she lifts the coin off your dresser, turns it over. What is this? She says. And you tell her Marcus, the van, the door, everything it means, because you tell her everything now. The bond between you and the only friend you have is now a fact in the enemy's hand. You put it there yourself, and she starts, so gently you never feel it, to take him from you. Whenever Marcus comes up, she goes quiet, then kind. He's jealous, that one. He came up with you, and now you're passing him. Men like that don't clap when you rise, they wait for you to trip. She says it every few months for years, until the words stop being hers and become yours. Across town, Marcus can't sleep either. He keeps pulling one loose thread, the Institute network, the one you both closed. It isn't dead. It was never dead. He opens a file, quietly, off the books. He doesn't tell you whose name is on the cover. Level 7, the supervisory special agent. They make you a supervisor, first a supervisory special agent with your own squad, your own agents to answer for. Then, on a Monday, they hand you the job, not the man. Somewhere inside the WFO counterintelligence branch, someone is feeding a foreign service the edges of a dozen operations. Find the leak. You say yes before you register the word you'll choke on later. Edges. This is the case that makes you. Headquarters picks you personally the best human polygraph in the building. Run this down and you become the story they tell recruits for 30 years, the spy hunter who caught the spy hunter's spy. You throw everything at it, and the whole time you're sleeping beside the leak. You just can't see it. Then you find the file, not yours. Marcus's. Off the books, unauthorized. The kind of file that ends careers, surveillance logs, financial pulls, a foreign contact matrix. And it keeps circling one household. Travel dates you recognize. An institute contact you recognize. A street in Del Rey you recognize because you mow the lawn on it. Your wife's name in your best friend's secret file. And here is where 20 years of noticing betrays you. You notice the wrong thing. The file implicates your wife, your pregnant wife. You cannot hold that and stay standing, so you don't. You reach for the story she's whispered 100 times in the dark. He's jealous. He can't stand your rise. He'd do anything to stop it. You decide Marcus is doing what a jealous man does, inventing a scandal, pinning the leak on your own wife, to blow up the case that would make you and take it himself. Not a spy in your bed. A jealous partner betraying you for the promotion. The lesson she spent years teaching you takes tonight, all at once. You corner him in a parking garage. You tell him you found the file, and to drop it. He won't tell you what's in it. He can't, he isn't sure yet. And if he's right, it detonates your marriage, your whole life. And if he carries that accusation up the chain and he's wrong, it ends you both. So he gives you the only thing he has left. Trust me over what you want to be true, he says. One time, that's all I'm asking. One time, pick me. You say no. You do worse than no. You use the task force you command to shut his thread down, to isolate the one man trying to keep you breathing. You win the argument. You could always talk your way through a door. And that night you tell Anya about it, your partner, his file, the thing he won't drop. You think you're venting about a coworker. You are briefing a foreign intelligence officer on the exact man closing in on her. Within a week, her people have Marcus watched. That same season, Anya tells you she's pregnant. You put your hand on her stomach and feel the last piece of the home you never had click into place. And you have never stood further from the truth. The months after are the happiest and blindest of your life. Her belly grows. There's a half-built IKEA crib in the spare room. Marcus goes quiet, too quiet, you'll understand later. Then, with her nearly due, he calls at 2 a.m. You've never heard his voice do this. Low, fast. Scared, and Marcus does not get scared. I have to show you something, not the office. Tonight, come alone. A breath. Bring the coin. I need you to remember whose side I've always been on. You almost don't go, so tired of his games, so certain you already won. You go, coin in your pocket, to meet the only friend you've ever had. He never makes it out of that garage. Level 8. The legendary agent. You find him in a parking structure off the G-W Parkway. 2 rounds, close, professional. His coffee is still warm in the cup holder. Yours is the last number he dialed. Marcus is dead. And in his hand, not on the ground, in his hand because he was holding it out for you when it happened, is the file. You open it under a flickering light with your hands shaking, and you finally read the name on the cover. It isn't yours. It was never yours. It's hers. Photographs. A dead-drop timeline running back years, packages left behind the Trader Joe's in Pentagon City, the one with the good parking. A real name Russian, not the one you married. The SVR patient, professional, better than you. The witness you cleared yourself, the source who never asked a question. The woman asleep in your bed with your child inside her, she has been running you since the night you walked into that gallery, certain you were in control. Marcus wasn't jealous. He wasn't after your case, your promotion, your name. Every ugly thing you learned to believe about him, you learned in her voice. He was building a case to save your life, and he brought it to you alone, in the dark, because he loved you enough to bring it to you first. And she got to him first, because you told her everything. Because she spent years making sure that when he finally came to you, you'd turn him away. This is the case that turns you into a legend, and you already hate the word. In the aftermath, on the strength of your grief, they hand you the hunt for Marcus's killer. You should recuse. You were his partner. The last number on his phone, any honest agent hands this off. You take it instead, the only way to control what gets found. You already know who did it. She's at home right now, nearly due, keeping dinner warm. The higher you climb, the fewer people you can tell anything true. Reporting her is the law. It's also the end of your child, your career. A decade of operations she's already sold, and concealing a foreign officer is a crime that would put you in a cell down the row from hers. You choose the crime. You cannot say her name out loud. You're the best agent in the building now, and more alone than you ever were on your cousin's couch. At least the couch never lied to you. So you do the only thing you've ever been good at. You run her again as the enemy this time. You read the whole marriage back frame by frame. She never asked a question because collectors don't. She turned the coin over in her fingers because she was cataloging the one bond that could ever turn you. Every quiet Sunday, every Trader Joe's run servicing drops while you grilled in the backyard thinking you'd finally made it. Every time she called Marcus a jealous climber who wanted your job, she was disarming the only one who could end her. Every warm memory turns, one by one, into evidence. The man who notices everything finally notices the one thing he refused to see. Marcus was right in the garage. You said no. You picked what you wanted to be true. You drive home. She's made dinner. The table is set. Her hand rests on her belly, and she watches you come through the door, your door, the one you were so proud to own, and she knows. She reads you the way you read the world. You set the challenge coin on the table between you. You don't say a word. You don't have to. One of you is not walking out of this house. Level 9. The FBI mentor. She moves first. She was always going to move first. She's better trained than the story ever let you believe. And the woman who set the table has been a soldier the entire time. It is not a movie fight. There's no music. It's 2 people in a kitchen who know each other's every tell. The table goes over. A knife comes off the block, fast and trained, and opens your forearm before you get a hand on her wrist. She isn't fighting to survive. She's fighting to get out, to take the child inside her, because a case officer's child is an asset, and nothing about her was ever sentimental. You are fighting for the man cooling in a morgue drawer who spent his last breath trying to warn you. For your own throat, which she has a grip on for one long second before you break it. You win on the one thing she could never train out of you. You notice the tell she doesn't know she has. The same skill that got you called a freak at 16, the same skill she studied and used to pick you out of a lobby full of lonely men. She built her whole operation on how well you notice. She forgot it works on her too. It ends. She's gone. Marcus is gone. And in the wreck of the worst night of your life, too soon, in an ambulance racing to Nova Alexandria, in a sound you'll never describe, There is a child. Yours. Hers. Alive. You are left holding a newborn whose mother you killed, whose mother would have sold her before she could walk. There is no one left alive who knew you before tonight. You don't go back to the field. You can't. The Bureau offers you a corner office, a division, your pick of postings. You turn it down and go back to Quantico. You become an instructor, a mentor. One of the faces on that wall your supervisor pointed at a lifetime ago. The naturals who walked through every door that ever opened for them never made that wall. You did. The door guy. They send you their best young minds, the ones in the fresh New Balances, the freaks who notice ears, the ones who fit nowhere else because no one alive understands the cost of a missed lie better than the man who married one. You teach them to read a lie across a room, and it is a sentence, not a prize. Every year, first day, you tell them the same thing none of them understand yet. The person you'll never think to check is the one standing closest to you. You couldn't see the liar in your own bed. Now you can't unsee anything, and you don't sleep. In the corner of your office, there's a box you've never unpacked. Your first security badge is in it. The plastic Meridian one that couldn't carry a stapler. From the Reeston lobby where a golden agent looked past you and called you the guy who watches the door. And the coin, the one you carried out of that house in your fist the last night of your old life, and have not once set down since. You take it out. You hold it the way he handed it to you in that van, deciding you were worth something for the reason everyone called you strange. You put it in your daughter's hand. It's the only inheritance you own that isn't a lie. This is who your father's real family was. Remember him because I'm going to spend the rest of my life failing to make it right. You didn't become the man they send every recruit to because you were the best agent in the building. You became him because the one time it truly mattered, you trusted the wrong person and the right one died, proving it. The door is yours now. So is the silence behind it. If this story stayed with you, like and subscribe for more.